Good morning and welcome to American Scouser TV's pre-match show. We're back. Tiago's back. It's game on. Good morning, lads. Kazi, how are we feeling?
Good, mate. Yeah, after seeing the bench at least, I was very happy. Thiago was back. The goat is back, and I can't wait. So excited to see him.
Big push for the rest of the year, Mecca. Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad, although I do remember there was some sort of bet involving donuts if Thiago scores, so I'm not too sure how I feel about Thiago being on the bench.
We'll have to enjoy the bets as they come. Before we get into the team sheet, I know Timothy and I, this past Monday, we talked about what we would want to expect from the end of this week. And good morning to Ryan as he's joining with us this morning. For us, we felt like 4 points between Chelsea and Arsenal would be enough to feel good. Kazi, where are you? Are you in the spot where you're comfortable with a draw? Would you much rather, obviously we'd much rather always see a win, right? But is there any result that would make you stop and go, don't feel so good about this for the last 3 months of the season?
Good question, man. Would I take a draw? No. I think if Liverpool want to win the league and be serious, we have to probably beat Arsenal still and really put them out of it. My biggest thing when we've been in these title runs with City, when we were relying on other teams to beat City, and then when Liverpool played them, we didn't beat City. And it's like, well, rely on yourself. And Liverpool have got to rely on their own games. They can only control their own destiny. And as much as Arsenal have found a little bit of form in the last couple of games, they have won a couple at least. But they play Palace at home and someone else, I can't remember. And Palace are no great side, but they have found a little bit of form. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be disheartened at a draw because I do think going to Brentford for City on a Monday night with Tony back could be a bit of a banana skin for City, let's say. So a draw, no, because I want to win the game, and I feel like Liverpool can win the game. I think we have options as well with Thiago, with Nunes off the bench today. I think Liverpool can win the game, so I want to win the game, and I feel like we can. I think we have all the right components to.
Marco, do you feel like a loss would be quite disheartening at this point in the season, or do you think it's still bounce backable enough? Obviously, depending on what the loss could potentially look like, if there is one to be had.
I think from now on, it's every game is a must win because it's City we're competing against, and we know they're capable of putting on runs. Right now, we have the advantage as narrow as it is, so we have to go out. I mean, we always go out to win games, but we have to not be content with a draw ahead of time just because it's an away game against Arsenal. I think Kazi's right. We can beat them, like, no problem. No problem, obviously. They're going to cause us some problems, but having Darwin Nunes to come off the bench and having Thiago probably fit to make some impact and make me have to eat 12 donuts or whatever it ends up having to be is not a bad thing to have against that Arsenal side. But I'm not one of the mind where you can go, if I'll take the draw before the game because we don't have enough of a gap on City for that to be a comfortable thing later on in the season.
Do you take a draw, Matthias?
Back to what Timothy and I were talking about this past Monday, I said 4 points out of 6 would be ideal. With a win against Chelsea, I felt like if there was anything else other than a win against Chelsea, it would have really been demoralizing. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going off of what I said on Monday, and you know me, I always stand on my word and I never flip-flop my opinions ever, then I would be comfortable with a draw, yes. However, I would much rather see a win. Ryan says we could definitely bounce back from a loss, but really need to win. I think, Kazi, with you mentioning City, obviously Mecca mentioning City as well, I think the only maybe comfortable part of this is that if there were to be a loss against the team in the next couple months, Arsenal wouldn't be the worst team to have that loss to because you still have that game against City.
Yes, agreed. I feel like people forget this as well. We have a lead. Yes, no one's arguing that. But it's also in City's hands. Because if City win every single game, they win the league by a point. So it's also, and that's how, if I was a City fan, I'd be saying the same thing. Well, we just win our games, we win the league. So there is that kind of balance to it. But Liverpool are also in the part where it's kind of weird, but I can't remember the last time we went on a run-in with City and we played City at home second. I always felt like we went to the Etihad second. Yeah. I remember this was in the January and we had that 2-2 game with them. and that was at home early on the season. I can't remember really, but I just feel like Liverpool are in a position after the performance against Chelsea more than anything that I really want to win the game now. If Liverpool would have just got over the line and won 1-0 or 2-1 against Chelsea and we looked a bit stagnant again, like we have been just kind of crawling over the line, but because the performance was so good against Chelsea and kind of a complete performance, then I want to see Liverpool really kick on against Arsenal and see where they're at. I don't know if they're going to be a bit scarred from the FA Cup as well. Because that hurt them, you could tell it hurt them. I think Liverpool brought the kids on still when it was 0-0 and beat you. Like, it must be. But also, if Liverpool play like that for the complete 90 again, I'd take a draw now. So I'd not expect that performance of like the FA Cup game. Let's get it right. It was a bit of a, smash and grab, as they say, in the FA Cup for Liverpool. Because Arsenal played really well in that game and Liverpool kind of just got over the line a little bit. If Liverpool play like that again, I'll take a draw. But the way off the back of the Chelsea performance for us to really kick on this season, I think we have to win the game. I really do. But as you say, it's not the end of the world if you lose the game. I don't think it's the end of the world, depending on the performance. I still want to see Liverpool go out and still play really well. If Liverpool go out and kind of throw in a half-hearted performance, I'll be really annoyed, I think.
I would agree. Good morning to Serzi joining us today. Ryan saying Arsenal did not look great against Forest, and Serzi saying Chelsea is a low bar, lost 4-1 at home today. I think, obviously, aside from today's performance as well, we haven't seen, from our side, a half of full sort of dominance that we saw against Chelsea in a while, and at least in my opinion, from what we've seen. So I think more so, I understand that Chelsea is not the Chelsea of old, right, that we expect, but there still is something to be said about the way that we played, the way that we dominated that first half. So moving into today, let's bring this up, and obviously we're going to have a few notable missing still as well. Endo, Salah, unfortunately, Connor Bradley not on the team sheet today. Thoughts are with him and his family throughout this difficult time. But in slots, Thiago on the bench, the mysterious Thiago, who makes an appearance once again. Maybe makes an appearance. At least we'll see him dressed to potentially play. We might not see him play specifically, but Mecca, let's start with you. Obviously, Szoboszlai wasn't traveling with the team, feeling ill. So Gravenberch goes into his place ahead of Elliott. Some don't feel too great about that. And Gomez earning still that left side spot over a healthy Robertson. I think those are two big talking points between Gomez and Gravenberch. And depending on which one you want to touch on first, go ahead and give us your take.
I think Gomez has earned his starting spot. I mean, I know Robertson had the shoulder injury rather than a leg injury, so we don't know what is, whether his hamstring is tight or his knee's a little bit buckled today or whatever. He's fit and raring to go, so I think it's testament to Gomez's performance that he's getting selected. My worry in that is Gravenberch. He just hasn't gelled with the team as well as, say, McAllister and Szoboszlai did at the start of the season, like when they looked like they've been playing with us for years already. So I'm concerned about that, and I'm worried about what Harvey Elliott thinks. Why he's not starting over Gravenberch when he's been way more effective.
Kazi, do you think this might lend itself to more of a Harvey off the bench impact kind of guy versus the impact that possibly Gravenberch could make off the bench? Klopp's thinking, if I need to bring in a midfielder, I'd rather bring in Harvey than Gravenberch, even though I know you don't want to go into a game thinking, how will you change it in the 60th, 70th minute? But if you need to, maybe you much rather would throw on a guy like Harvey than Gravenberch.
Yes, I think that's more the case here. It's interesting because if Nunes is fully fit, I think he would have done Gakpo midfield because he's done it before over the others, and I think he's liked them there a little bit. So I think he's kind of snookered in his option there a little bit. I think the argument for Elliott and Gravenberch is completely fair. The one thing I'd say about Gravenberch, and again, he hasn't been playing well, and I think Elliott's been excellent. With Jones and Elliott starting, there's not a lot of size there, you would say, in midfield to get in, and McAllister's not a big guy either. So I just think he might want his physicality in the midfield because, Rice is a big boy on the slide. Rice is strong and he's quick, and I know Odegaard's quite slight and stuff, but I don't think he's going to play that far deep anyway to concern it. But I think that might be his option, but also you need options off the bench. You need to change things if things are going wrong. And the manager right now has 2 or 3, and including Robertson, probably 4, where he can look and go, oh, I actually have these choices again. I just seen then that no, Jesus is not fit for them. So Havertz is up front on his own. So that's another interesting thing was Jesus has been a bit of a thorn in Liverpool's side for years, really, including the City days. So another positive, really. But I think that's why he's probably went with him, just Gravenberch, just for this physicality and his size kind of thing. And Gomez deserves a starting spot. Gomez has been brilliant. I think he's been one of the best left backs since he's went there in the league at the time. And it also gives him more options again. Trent is coming back from an injury. If Trent can only do 60 or 70, then he might put Gomez right back and do Robertson. So that's another choice. So the manager has options, mate. He's went with his Gravenberch option today, but I think he just went for him for the sheer size.
Yeah, I would agree. So, and with Havertz there too, he's got the size. Obviously, we're not expecting Gravenberch to pick up Havertz in those areas, but if you have a little bit to match the size, Gravenberch is the one to go with there. Ryan says Gomez has shut down Saka twice already this year. So we don't expect much different, hopefully, today going in. Macca, I know potentially the donuts may not be in your favor, but aside from those, do you think Thiago is ready to come in and make an impact, or is this sort of a hey, this is a good feeling, he's on the bench kind of thing? Like, hey, he saw that this collapsed last year, he's going to just do what he can to get in there and do what he can.
I think look, donuts aside, I'll happily eat all the donuts if Thiago helps us to get further towards winning the league and every other competition we're in. So I have no problem with that. I like Thiago. He's a classy player. He's just not a very fit one all the time. But I just have it in my head that him and Nunez will come on and Thiago will do one of those lovely little one-touch flick passes that curls beautifully over the Arsenal defence for Nunez to not think about hitting it. He just hits it and it goes into the top corner, kind of this scenario. And I will eat 2 boxes of Dunkin' Donuts, chocolate glazed donuts, if we can get that to happen. And that's only a pretend offer there, because I'm not going to eat any more of those chocolate glazed donuts. I spackled my bathroom with that afterwards. I'm not doing that again.
Oh boy. I mean, listen, the Thiago thing with Tice is interesting, isn't it? Because he's the joker. He's the wild card that Liverpool haven't had all season. And Liverpool sit in 4 competitions. Then you bring in my opinion, the best technical player in Liverpool's team. And one of the most naturally gifted players I've ever seen play for the club. Of course, there's been other players who've had more impact at the club. But I don't think in terms of ability, he's right up there. That's the joker. And that's the wild card for Liverpool. All Liverpool need him to do, which is more difficult said than done kind of thing, is to stay fit till May. If Liverpool stay fit till May, Liverpool have a much bigger chance at winning all the trophies if he just stays fit, because he's that good. Now, let's get this right. Thiago's never played on a Liverpool team with legs around him. He's just, because all the midfielders, all the legs fell off around him at the same time. He might just come in and be a luxury player now and go, you know what, I've got no tracking back to do. I can just come in and do my own thing because I've got all these lads around me who are going to do loads of running, like a Gravenberch, a Jones, and McAllister and Endo when he's back. And they're going to do all my hard work, and I don't need to do anything, because that's the type of player he could be for Liverpool. So I'm excited to see him in this new version of Liverpool and this kind of new role that he could have. I don't want to see him play the 6 for Liverpool. I just don't want to see it. We have McAllister and Endo who can do the job brilliantly. He has done it before and he did it excellently. I remember he had done it at Bayern Munich and he was man of the match in the Champions League final when he did it, and he was the best player on the field. And we were all, before he came, he was, all so excited to see him. I wanted to come in and play the 8. And I wanted to come in and give him option, get legs around him to do his running, and let him just do whatever he wants to do on a football field, because it's majestic.
And I think that was when he was first signed, that's what he was viewed as, was a luxury signing, a guy that you didn't necessarily need so much, but now you have the option of having, and it was a great option to have. But like you're saying, having certain guys around him didn't necessarily translate that well on the pitch, and obviously some with his injury history as well, he wasn't given a chance to really. We were able to really see what he was capable of with everyone around him.
In his first season, mate, right? He had his centre halves with Nat Phillips and Reece Williams and Henderson and stuff. Like, that was his first. People forget that. Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't he? I think he deserves a chance. Listen, he's had a bad hip injury, whatever. But if he stays fit now till the end of May with Szoboszlai again and stuff, you get excited to see, oh my God, imagine this lad just having the freedom of Anfield while these lads just run their legs off. He'll win Liverpool more football matches. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we want to see.
A genuine embarrassment of the riches in midfield, honestly, when everyone comes back. because we have the three names in right now. Obviously, Gravenberch a little bit split there, but you have Jones and McAllister. Then you throw in Endo, and you throw in Szoboszlai, you throw in Elliott, you throw in Thiago. I mean, and maybe Gakpo sometimes, right? I mean, it's silly. It is actually silly.
Stefan Bajcetic, right?
And Bajcetic, I mean,
we forgot about him. Everyone forgets about him. He's been injured for so long, but he's unbelievable. What a footballer! And when he comes back in, come on, Liverpool.
and Trent as well. Don't forget that. Like, he can go in there too.
Conor Bradley's provided Trent now as a viable midfield option because how good Conor Bradley's been.
And as we mentioned, Trent in midfield, we're bringing on the biggest advocate for that in Timothy. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, that's like the Batman signal. I'm here to stop that. Let's not do that. What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, not much. We've talked about this lineup a little bit. With who was available, not a lot of surprises. The one possibly maybe Elliott in for instead of Gravenberch. Looking at this, how are you taking this? What are you feeling?
I mean, in the great words of myself, this is a great opportunity for Gravenberch, right? I mean, to kind of like cement a position in there, that's probably the only concern, right? If we get a good performance out of him, this will go well. But if we do not, that press and midfield will fall apart. I'm like, that's the only concerning thing I think in there.
Ryan says Tim Trent in midfield Uchin. So that's one hell of a hyphenated name. And we talked a bit about having Thiago back on the bench. And Timothy, your feelings there. I mean, I know you expected to never see him actually on the pitch ever again, and now there's a chance that we'll see him. And so, where are you at with that?
I mean, I don't see him starting a game anytime soon, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe towards the end of the season. I mean, it would be nice to have a key game where he hops on and, controls the game and stuff. But I think he's I mean, I've been saying this for a few months. We always joke on the Friday show with Anan and stuff. I still think, he's a very valuable piece to bring in the last 20 to 30 minutes of a game, either to control the game and close it out, or if you're chasing the game, to help you open up a defense or something along those lines. But I think, I mean, dude is a great player. He's just not available, and therefore becomes redundant how great you are. But I think, if he's available with his experience and skill, to have him come in there for the last 20, 30 minutes of a game in either situation, I think is golden. I mean, how many teams can say they're bringing a world-class midfielder off the bench as a luxury? It almost seems like at this point, which is really nice to have.
Ryan says, has anyone checked on Anan? And actually, you can check on him yourself. Good morning, Anan. How are you? And he's back. He's a
little camera shy.
He's fainted. He's seen the team sheet and he's like, oh!
And Thiago actually called him. He goes, look, dude, you can't actually show your face because I'm just on the bench just for the actual just scene.
Somebody get the smelling salts.
Yeah. Wait, come on. Look, Mateus is frozen. Everyone's just having difficulties.
It's a momentous day in Liverpool history.
I jump on and the thing falls apart.
We have more difficulties than Thiago's fucking hip here. Come
more
on.
complications than a Thiago injury.
It's like a Stephen King thing. It's like, you spread the injury around. So Thiago's back fit. So Mateus and now their internet connections get the injury.
Yeah, what Mateus is doing there, he's doing like a witch doctor thing on Thiago's hip to get him fit.
My internet signal is this big.
Yeah.
By the way, he got stuck in a position where you don't know what kind of a story he's telling there. Like,
no, I'm hoping he has no idea he's frozen and he's just still he's gone. There we go. But I mean, no, listen, we know how important he is, don't we? He's super important to him, and he's such a footballer. And if Liverpool can get some legs around him, let him just be the player he can in a number 8 position, number 10 position, he can be such a luxury, can't he?
You just got to use them very carefully, though, right, Michael? Like, you don't want to throw him out there more than 20, 30 minutes. Just put him in a bubble wrap and have him occasionally pop out there.
No, I think it's good that we can put him on. I mean, it's kind of. I don't want to hark back to old conversations and sound like I'm mocking, but it was kind of like when we wanted Oxlade-Chamberlain to be fit to play because he gave us some power every time he came on the field. And this is the same thing with Thiago. He's not going to give us power, obviously, but he gives us that finesse that
Yeah.
we've all talked about sometimes when the game has been at a stalemate. He's been the one that's been able to unlock things, and that's why I have it in my head that he's gonna put something on the play for Nunes, and it's gonna be the one that we've been talking about. It's gonna be so simple, and he's gonna put it in. We're gonna go there. He just needed Thiago all this time.
I'm really into the idea of me being on the post-match campaigning for a 5-year deal for Thiago. I'm really into the idea of it. Just fucking get him on. Come on.
Do you guys think we see them today?
Yes.
I think we do, yeah.
I think
so? Okay.
I think if Liverpool winning the game, I think to calm everything down and just to slow it all down and just pass the ball about, I think he's perfect for this. I also think it's good as well because he's going to be against a team who's going to attack us, so there will be space as well to open up a little bit. Especially if Arsenal are chasing the game, we can really punish it on the counter-attack. So I think we see him. And I also think the manager, I don't think he's into token gestures on the bench. I don't think he's into it because he's just brought 2 keepers down, for example.
Yeah, that's true.
So if he's into a token gesture, you're just taking under 23 kid, but you don't know, and go, come on, you're coming down with us. But I think you've had to earn your right and be fit to be on his bench. So I think he's ready to go.
Unless Adrian's getting the shot out on the left wing.
I mean, listen, you know what, lad? He might be better on the left wing than in goal. He might be better on the left wing than the keeper. So we'll go with it.
There we go. Let's try to bring this guy on. Hopefully, he doesn't give us. Okay,
Listen,
what's going on?
I don't think it could have happened in a better way. I get on, my phone gets injured and turns off completely, just as I was about to talk about Thiago. So honestly, there's not a better way for this to go. How about that bench, though, guys? Woo! How about that bench?
We figured you would be excited. We were just talking about that. Do you think we see him today on the pitch?
I think so. I think he at some point he replaces Gravenberch. I really think so. I sent the message. I don't know what happened with Elliott, man. He's fallen out of favor in a very weird way. In a game like this where Szoboszlai is injured, Elliott's your guy. We somehow start Gravenberch, who has not really done anything to earn a start against Arsenal.
I mean,
that's interesting.
We spoke about this before. I just think he's picked Gravenberch, mate, for his physicality, just for his size, because Rice and stuff are big boys, aren't they? They are a tough team to play against. And I just think with Jones and Elliott, they're a bit slight. And then I know Jones is quite strong, but Elliott is very slight. I think he's just picked Gravenberch for physicality and then Elliott off the bench. That's the only reasoning, maybe.
100%. Yeah, he's a lankier, stronger guy that can actually battle it with that midfield. Now I see it. But I mean, all this aside, what about this guy?
This guy?
What about this guy?
Look at this. He's had that in that car for a year, waiting for this moment.
Yeah, honestly,
and he's just out of underneath.
I'm pumped. I'm driving from one store to another, and I finally got to stop here so I can get on. I didn't want to do it while driving, and now I'm going to change and go into the store. I'm full on in like dress pants and in like dress shoes with a Thiago shirt walking in.
What are you driving, by the way? Is that the new Ford Physio? Like
that. That is it's the limited edition. You can only get it if you're a Spaniard.
It's very ironic that you've got Thiago's last season shirt because that's the last time we've seen him.
That's honestly really it. I wasn't going to get this season shirt. I wasn't sure he's ever going to play again. I'm just honest.
I think the 6 is the number of games before he gets injured again.
Oh, don't say that, Macca.
My heart tells me it's going to be less, but I'm not going to jinx it, honestly.
Let's just put into perspective, and Tamucha knows this. All of my predictions turned to crap, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, I can take that. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited. I think the confidence built in this team over the last few games, especially after that Chelsea game, is going to open the door to a lot. And I think we cruise past them. I'm not going to say easily, but I think I'm going to stay positive and say we cruise past Arsenal today and get a good little win. And that's what I hope for. Maybe a Thiago cameo in the last 25 minutes that even if we're losing 12-0 and he comes in, it's a win for me. So overall, it's going to be a good day.
I think the one I'm excited to see, boys, I don't want you. I want to see Diaz on the right against Zinchenko because I don't think Zinchenko's great defensively. I think he's in a bit of a bad run of form as well. Yeah. And I actually want to see Jota on the left. And I don't know what he's going to do because he kind of swapped them around on the last week and it confused me a little bit. But in the cup, he put Diaz on the right in the cup. Against Arsenal, I think Diaz starts on the right because he scored off the right, actually,
Yeah.
So I want to see him against Zinchenko. I really want to see him just being direct and running at him because he looks like he's found a bit of form again in his last few games and he's playing better. So let's go and target him. You know what I mean? I think that's where we can win the game, really.
Especially probably because he's like taking a deep breath, Macca, thinking, "Oh, thank God Mo is not here this time."
Yeah.
You just like play and then you send Diaz or somebody on him. I mean, I like the fact that the front three can shift around. That's why it's kind of hard to tell. Like, dude, I thought you were on right, and then like they kind of like shift, swap wings all the time. Having that flexibility is nice and is a nightmare for a defender because just when you kind of got a feel for things, it just like shakes everything up.
Yeah, I think it's just as well because Jota and Diaz create two different problems. Like Diaz will run at you and try and beat you and get you on the turnovers. Jota will just float and you'll be like, I've got him. Oh crap, he's just scored. Where was he?
Yep.
That's the beauty of it.
Yep.
So that means Arsenal would have to change Zinchenko to cope with that difference, which disrupts their entire plans. That's the beauty of how our attack is set up. We can hurt it in so many ways if we're on form. And as I said, let's hope one of them is Thiago. Nice little dinked ball over the top for Nunes to run on and score a simple one.
Oh my God, Thiago to Nunes? Are you serious? Oh my God,
that's my feeling.
So you want me to die over here? Okay, cool, man. That's a good way to go. I'll tell you that.
To be fair, though, Matt did say before his predictions are usually shit. So I mean, I want to say that.
Starting to sound it's gonna be Rice to Martinelli, isn't it? But we'll see. But whoever it is, somebody posted a picture of their fantasy team yesterday, and everybody on their bench did so well. And Zinchenko was on that bench, and I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. So I'm like, I looked at that bench, I'm like, I hope to God that doesn't happen tomorrow. But yeah, overall, I'm glad to see Nunez on the bench too. We were very worried about the boot. You guys are getting exactly what you want. Nunez in the last 15, 20 minutes to cause that chaos. Yeah. That could work. I don't know. That tire him out. They'll be tired. He comes in, causes a lot of danger. I don't know. I am extremely positive today, and it has nothing to do with Thiago. I swear. I just woke up feeling good, feeling positive. That lineup comes out. Very sad about Szoboszlai, but hey, it's okay. And I hate to say this part. We've got Jones. We're okay. We're safe. I'm not too worried about the midfield because we've got a guy who cemented himself in there as the guy that's leading this midfield right now. My biggest concern was Gravenberch, but physicality could be the key today, like Kazi said. So I'll take that. Just give me a 90 minutes like you did against Chelsea, but the first 25 minutes, the same pressure we put on Chelsea, we do that today. This Arsenal team, they're not that mentally strong team that's going to come back. Give us a 25 minutes in the start of the half that you did against Chelsea, and this game is over. And speaking of Chelsea, what a joke of a club that is, too.
Because we have a striker up front who will bury the chances, that's why.
No, Nunes is coming out in the second half. Don't worry.
I think Szoboszlai is not like ill. I think he had a donut bet as well that Thiago wouldn't play this season. He had to eat them all.
Somebody had to get injured. We can't all leave it. He's passing it on. No, I'm quite positive today. So it might be too early for score predictions. I said 3-1 on a couple of days ago. I'm gonna go with 4-1 today because we do have a striker that's gonna bury the chances. Fuck it.
I guess the main concern is this is a team now, Mecca, this is it for them. Like, this is the game for them. Do you think that helps them? Or knowing it's Arsenal almost makes them choke it a bit more?
You mean you're talking about Arsenal's?
Yeah. I mean, because you're going to figure, if they lose this,
they have to play City as well.
Against City, they're not catching us.
Yeah, they're
already out of the cups. This is almost like their season in a way.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think they have to play City too, so they have two chances to mess it up and be put out of potential, title challenge. But that might also, as they are bottlers, they are chokers by nature. For some odd reason, Arsenal and Spurs just have something about them where they consistently drop the ball when they don't need to. So I think that might play on them a lot more. We've talked on the Thursday night show about Odegaard not being a natural leader, fantastic player, but you don't look to him for leadership. The way, let's say Henderson was not a technically fantastic player, but he was actually a very good captain. He's a good leader for the players. And you had Milner to back him up, and you had Van Dijk. I don't see that at Arsenal. So I think we get the first goal in this game. I think that's when they start thinking, okay, we're fighting for fourth place now. And there's a panic about them, which will help us because we like teams that panic. Because that's when they start making the mistakes we need to get our counter pressing on.
Yeah. I think it's hard, though, when you look at it. I think if you're Liverpool now, you're Van Dijk and Canate, you see no Jesus, and you kind of look and go, thank God for that. Especially Van Dijk. He's been a thorn in Liverpool's side for fucking 5 years or something. He's been a thorn, and he's not there. And you must look and go, well, Havertz isn't going to come and play off me, is he? He's not going to stand next to me and try and roll me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that helps Liverpool. I think they're going to try and outnumber McAllister. That's their target. He's outnumbered McAllister. He's not a natural 6, even though he just played his best game as the 6 last game. He's not a natural 6. Let's outnumber him there, and that's why that's important, I suppose. But they haven't got that striker again, like a Jesus or something. Who's been a bit of a problem. And let's get it right. We have the striker in Jota. He's been a problem for Arsenal for years.
Yeah.
And they're even looking at them. If you're Ben White and just can't be arsed with him, especially if he's playing on your side and you're Ben White up against him and he's giving Ben White nightmares, you can half look and go, I don't fancy this today. Do you know what I mean? This kid's on fire as well. Everyone's talking about him at the moment, how much of a good finisher he is, and he's all over the news about how good he is. So it's going to be great, man.
Look who's back.
Just came back from moral support. That's pretty much it. You guys are just doing fine without me. You don't need me. Anon, that was my team in the fantasy team, and I hope that's not a bad chase that Zinchenko is on there. But knowing this year, who fucking knows? So
the good news is it's February, and Arsenal tend to always begin their choke season in February. That has been a trend for like the last 5 years. So
yes,
I don't want to jinx anything. Thank God John isn't here. Your fantasy team, I hope it doesn't do anything, but it's looking good. I'm positive. If Kazi said everything right, they don't have a striker. They don't have that guy that's going to come out and finish. That guy that's going to put the pressure on our back four. And the only thing that I look at Arsenal and say, God damn, you're lucky, is Declan Rice. Take that out of the equation, and you've got a team that's really just trying to do their best. I mean, yeah, Odegaard's not a leader. That team is lacking leadership. That team is lacking everything, but also that team is playing with that burden that if we don't win today, this could be season. That mental pressure is going to be a problem. Meanwhile, Liverpool are like, this is our last dance with Big Jurgen. We got to make everything happen for this guy. It's going to be a good game. And then Thiago comes in the last 20. Oh my God. It's just a good day. Just a good day.
I like it.
Okay, well, on our way out, as we head over to the TVs over here, you said 4-1 Anon, so we're rolling with that, right, for the prediction. Kazi, what do you have?
2-0 Liverpool. I think it'll be, but I think they'll dominate. I think it's like a dominating 2-0 in a weird way, but I'll say 2-0 Liverpool.
Oh, this is why I like these pre-matches, man. Gives me some calm, your guys' positiveness. Mecca, what do you have?
No, I'm going with an 4-1, and with the Thiago to Nunes special to cap it all off.
Oh, Jesus.
And then
he's going to try to next week you off the road.
Like that with a towel on the nan. Wake up.
Mitush, what do you have?
Oh, man, all of this is – I was going to go 2-1, but let's fucking open it up. 5-2.
Jesus.
What the hell is going on? Ryan says 3-2, very nervy. I'm going –
Bring us back down to earth. Come on.
Honestly, my brain says 2-2, but my heart says 3-2. But this is going to be a hard-fought game. It's a huge 3 points if we get this away. So, but Mecca, you'll be hosting the post-match festivities over here.
Yeah, I will be calling 911 for Anan. Just so we know, like we have a designated caller.
But yeah, enjoy the game, everybody. We'll be right back for the post-match after the game. Hopefully, talking about yet another Liverpool win. Take care. Oh, wait, Mecca is here, so I guess we have to do the porn music somewhere.
Oh, we do have to do the porn music because that match is going to be porn. There's no way around it.
It's
I
sure.
guess let's do that.